On April 8, 2025, India witnessed a significant shift in the management of Waqf properties with the enactment of the Waqf Amendment Act 2025. This legislation, passed by the BJP-led parliament, marked a departure from the Waqf Act of 1995. The new law, touted by the government as a necessary step towards transparency and accountability, has ignited a firestorm of controversy nationwide. Critics view it as part of a larger pattern of legislation aimed at disempowering and marginalizing the Muslim community in India. Despite the widespread criticism and calls for its withdrawal, the government has remained steadfast in its defense of the act. The heart of the controversy lies in the perceived erosion of autonomy over Waqf Boards, institutions traditionally responsible for managing these endowments. The Waqf Amendment Act 2025 introduces several key changes to the management and control of Waqf properties in India. One of the most contentious provisions is the inclusion of non-Muslims on Waqf boards, potentially even as chairpersons. Another significant change is the increased role of civil courts in Waqf matters. The Act empowers civil courts to intervene in decisions made by Waqf tribunals, bodies specifically established to adjudicate disputes related to Waqf properties. The Act also introduces stringent documentation requirements for Waqf properties. All properties must now be registered with a centralized system within 6 months, failing which they risk being declared illegal. Furthermore, the Act grants the government sweeping powers to survey and manage Waqf properties. The Waqf Amendment Act 2025 has sparked a heated debate in India, with proponents and opponents engaging in a war of words over its implications. The government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, argues that the act is a much-needed reform, aimed at improving the management and transparency of Waqf properties. They claim that the existing system is riddled with corruption and mismanagement, leading to the misuse of valuable resources meant for charitable purposes. However, opposition parties and Muslim organizations have vehemently refuted these claims, accusing the government of using the garb of reform to target and marginalize the Muslim community. This is not about reform, it's about control, asserted Rahul Gandhi, leader of the Indian National Congress. Amit Shah, the Home Minister, has defended the act, stating that it does not infringe on the rights of any community. However, these assurances have failed to assuage the concerns of the Muslim community, who view the act as a direct attack on their religious freedom. They argue that the government's claims of mismanagement are exaggerated, and that the act is a blatant attempt to usurp their control over their religious institutions. The Waqf Amendment Act 2025 has sent shockwaves through the Muslim community in India, raising concerns about its far-reaching consequences. One of the most pressing concerns is the potential for increased ownership disputes over Waqf properties. The Act's stringent documentation requirements have created a sense of unease among many who fear losing control of their ancestral lands and properties. Adding to the anxiety is the fear of further government encroachment on Waqf properties. The Act's provision granting the government greater authority over these endowments has fueled speculation about potential land grabs and the diversion of resources for other purposes. The Act has also sparked concerns about its potential to exacerbate existing tensions between religious communities in India. Critics argue that the government's decision to introduce such a divisive law at a time when communal harmony is already fragile is irresponsible and could have dangerous consequences.